Welcome to Real Talk Vietnam. Imagine this. It is your first morning in Vietnam. You made it through the airport. You checked into your hotel. You slept a little, maybe not enough. And now you're standing outside for the first time, ready to explore. The street is alive. Motorbikes pass in every direction. A coffee shop is already busy. Someone is grilling food on the sidewalk. Your hotel is behind you and the city is in front of you, and then the simple questions start. Can I pay by card here? Do I need cash? How much money should I carry? Can I use QR codes? Will my phone work? Should I buy a SIM card or use an eSIM? How do I use Grab? Can I trust Google Maps? What apps do I actually need in Vietnam? These questions may sound small, but they can shape your first few days in the country. Because in Vietnam, your phone, your internet, your cash, your maps, and your transport apps become part of your survival kit. Not in a scary
Could I
way,
pay with this card,
in a
please?
practical
Yes, of
way.
course.
If
Just
they
tap it right
work,
here.
Vietnam feels much
Perfect.
easier.
Here is your
If they do
receipt.
not,
Enjoy your
even
stay.
simple things
Thank
can
you very
become
much.
stressful. So in this video, I will walk you through the money and app basics for first-time visitors to Vietnam. We will cover cash, cards, ATMs, Vietnamese dong, SIM cards, eSIMs, Grab, maps, translation tools, and the apps I would prepare before arriving. This is not a tech review. This is a real first-time visitor guide. Let's start with money. The first thing to understand is this. Vietnam is modern, but it is not fully cashless for tourists. In big cities, you will see card machines, QR codes, mobile payments, and modern shopping centers. Cashless payments are growing very quickly in Vietnam. QR codes and mobile payments are everywhere now, especially for locals. But as a foreign visitor, you should not assume you can use every QR code you see. Many QR payments in Vietnam are connected to Vietnamese bank accounts or local payment systems. Locals may pay for a bowl of noodles, a coffee, or a haircut by scanning a QR code. But if you're visiting for 10 days with a foreign bank card, that QR code may not help you. So here's the real talk. Bring cash. Use cards where they work, but do not try to travel Vietnam with only a card. Cash is still useful for street food, small cafes, markets, local taxis, tips, laundry, small shops, rural areas, and many everyday situations. If you're in a hotel, modern restaurant, shopping mall, or larger tourist business, cards may work. But if you're eating bun cha on a small plastic stool, buying fruit in a market, or paying a local vendor, cash is usually the easiest option. Now let's talk about Vietnamese dong. The first time you see Vietnamese money, the zeros can be confusing. 10,000, 20,000, 50,000, 100,000, 500,000. When you're tired, hungry, or rushed, it is easy to mix up notes, so slow down. Do not feel embarrassed counting money carefully. A good habit is to organize your cash. Keep small notes for daily spending. Keep larger notes separate. Do not carry all your cash in one wallet. And do not pull out a thick stack of money in the middle of a market or on the sidewalk. For daily use, carry enough for the day. Keep backup cash in a separate pouch or hotel safe. Now, how much cash should you get? There is no perfect number for everyone. But for your first day or two, you want enough for simple things: transport, food, coffee, small purchases, and emergencies. You do not need to carry thousands of dollars in cash. In fact, if you carry large amounts of cash across the border, check customs rules before you fly. Vietnam requires travelers to declare cash above certain limits. For most tourists, the better approach is simple. Bring a little cash for arrival, use ATMs when needed, and keep money split safely. When using ATMs, choose machines inside banks, malls, hotels, or bright public areas. Avoid isolated ATMs late at night. Before leaving the ATM, put your money and card away. Do not count a large amount of cash openly on the street. Also, use a debit card or travel card with reasonable international fees if possible. Check your bank's foreign transaction fees before traveling. And bring more than one card stored separately. If one card is blocked, lost, or rejected, you need a backup. Now, card payments. Cards can be useful in Vietnam, but they are not universal. Hotels usually accept cards. Airlines and major booking platforms accept cards. Shopping malls, larger restaurants, modern cafes, and supermarkets often accept cards, but smaller places may prefer cash. Sometimes a business accepts cards but adds a small fee. Sometimes the card machine is not working. Sometimes the staff simply prefers bank transfer or cash. So your mindset should be flexible. Do not ask, can I travel Vietnam without cash? A better question is, where should I use cash and where can I use card? That mindset will save you stress. Now let's talk about QR codes. You will see QR codes everywhere on cafe counters, at street food stalls, at small shops, even on tiny plastic tables. To locals, QR payment is easy, but for tourists, it can be confusing. Many QR codes are designed for Vietnamese banking apps. If you do not have a Vietnamese bank account or compatible payment app, you may not be able to use them. There are some cross-border QR payment developments, and some options may work for certain travelers from certain countries. But do not build your entire trip around the assumption that every QR code will work for you. Always have cash as backup. Now let's move to your phone. In Vietnam, internet is not optional for first-time visitors. You need it for maps. Grab translation, hotel messages, restaurant searches, flight updates, emergency contacts, and sometimes just to figure out where you are. The two main options are SIM and eSIM. An eSIM is convenient because you can buy it before your trip and activate it after landing. You do not need to swap a physical card. You do not need to find a counter immediately. For many first-time visitors, this is the easiest arrival day option. But make sure your phone supports eSIM and is unlocked before you travel. Do not discover this at the airport. A physical SIM can also work well. You can buy one at the airport, in phone shops, or in city centers. If you buy a SIM at the airport, make sure the staff activates it and tests the internet before you walk away. Open a map, send a message, load a website, check that data actually works. Do not just accept the package and leave. If the connection fails later, you will be more annoyed. Now, what should you choose, SIM or eSIM? If you want convenience before arrival, choose eSIM. If you want a local number or a local data plan, a physical SIM may be useful. If you're staying longer, you may want a more flexible local plan. For a short first trip, the best option is usually the one that works reliably from the moment you need it. Do not choose based only on the cheapest price. Choose based on reliability, coverage, and whether you understand how to activate it. Now let's talk about Grab. For many first-time visitors, Grab is one of the most useful apps in Vietnam. It helps you book cars, taxis, and motorbike rides in many cities. The biggest benefit is that you can see the estimated fare before booking. You can track your driver, you can see the route, and you can share your trip details. This helps reduce confusion compared with negotiating a random taxi on the street, but Grab is not magic. You still need to use common sense. Always check the license plate, check the car model, check the driver details. Wait at the correct pickup point. If the driver calls and you do not understand, use in-app messages or translation. At airports, pickup areas can be confusing. Do not stand in the middle of the road staring at your phone. Move to a safe spot. Check the app, then go to the pickup point. If you're nervous on your first day, choose a car instead of a motorbike ride. Grab bike can be fast and affordable, but Vietnam traffic may feel intense if you have just arrived. Give yourself time to adjust before riding on a motorbike. Now payment in Grab. Depending on your setup, you may be able to pay by card in the app, or you may choose cash. Even if you link a card, keep some cash available. Sometimes cards fail, sometimes you may choose a local taxi or a short ride where cash is easier. Small notes help. Drivers may not always have change for large bills. Now Maps. Google Maps is useful in Vietnam, but you should not treat it like a perfect guide. It can help with walking routes, restaurants, hotel locations, and estimated travel times. But in Vietnam, walking routes can be strange. Sidewalks may be blocked by parked motorbikes, street vendors, construction, or cafe seating. A road that looks simple on a map may feel very different when you're standing there. So use maps as a guide, not as the final truth. Check the destination name. Check the address. Look at recent reviews. Save your hotel location. And when you leave the hotel, take a card or screenshot with the hotel address, especially if you're staying in a small alley or local neighborhood. Now, translation. You do not need to speak Vietnamese fluently to travel here, but having a translation app makes life easier. Use it for hotel messages, food allergies, basic questions, taxi communication, and price clarification. Before your trip, download Vietnamese language support for offline use if your app allows it. But remember, translation apps are not perfect. Use simple sentences, avoid slang, do not write long, complicated paragraphs. If something matters, like allergies, medical issues, or transport details, keep the wording very clear. Now, food apps and delivery. In big cities, food delivery apps can be helpful, especially on arrival day or rainy days. Grab food is available in many major cities such as Ho Chi Minh City, Hanoi, Da Nang, Hue, and others. But for first-time visitors, I would not depend on food delivery immediately. Sometimes addresses are confusing. Drivers may call. The app may need local phone verification. Your hotel may have a better delivery process. On your first day, it may be easier to eat near your hotel or ask hotel staff for a simple recommendation. After you understand your area, delivery becomes easier. Now, messaging apps, WhatsApp is useful for many international travel. Hotels and tour operators may also communicate through email, WhatsApp, or other platforms. In Vietnam, Zalo is widely used locally. You do not always need Zalo for a short tourist trip, but some local services may use it. For most first-time visitors, the priority is simpler. Make sure you can message your hotel, make sure you can receive booking confirmations, make sure your phone number or messaging app works when someone needs to reach you. Now let's talk about offline preparation. Before flying to Vietnam, download your essential apps. Do not wait until airport Wi-Fi is weak or your phone is tired. Download Grab. Google Maps, Google Translate, or another translation app. Your airline app, your hotel booking app, your eSIM app if using your bank app, your travel insurance app, or emergency contact information. Also save your hotel address, your e-visa, your passport copy, your insurance, your flight details, your first hotel booking, your emergency contacts. Keep digital copies in your phone and cloud storage, and keep a printed backup of the most important documents. Now, let's put this into a realistic first day scene. You leave your hotel in the morning, you have your phone, your data works, you have small cash, your hotel location is saved, you know how to call a Grab, you can translate basic phrases, you know not every QR code will work, you know when to use cash and when card is fine. Suddenly, Vietnam feels easier. Not because the country changed, because you're prepared. That is the whole point. The difference between feeling lost and feeling confident is often very small. A working phone, some small notes, a saved hotel address, a ride app, a translation tool, and a calm plan. Now let's finish with a simple money and apps checklist. Before you fly, check your bank cards and fees, bring at least 2 cards if possible, prepare some arrival cash, set up your eSIM or know where you will buy a SIM, download Grab, download Maps, download translation tools, save your hotel address, save digital copies of important documents after you arrive. Get internet working first, withdraw or exchange a small amount of cash, organize your Vietnamese dong, use cards at hotels, malls, and larger businesses. Use cash for smaller places. Use Grab or trusted transport apps when possible. Check driver details before getting in. Use maps, but stay aware of the real street. Use simple translation when needed, and always keep a backup plan. Vietnam becomes much easier when your money and apps are ready. You do not need to understand everything on day one. You just need the basics working: cash, card, internet Grab, maps, translation. Once those are in place, your first trip becomes calmer, smoother, and more enjoyable. This is Real Talk Vietnam. Honest travel advice before your first trip. If this guide helped you, subscribe for more practical Vietnam travel videos. In the next videos, we'll cover realistic itineraries, Vietnamese food for beginners, the best time to visit Vietnam, and the first 48 hours after arrival. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next Real Talk Vietnam.